There are moments in life when the world feels quiet, not because it's at peace, but because something sacred has left it. And when the news spread that Bishop Norman Hutchins had passed away, that silence fell across churches, living rooms, and hearts everywhere. No loud headlines, no flashing screens, just one soft truth echoing across the gospel world. He's gone. But even as people grieved, something powerful began to rise. His voice, his sermons, his worship, louder than ever, because Bishop Hutchins wasn't just a gospel artist, he was a spiritual lifeline for thousands who had nothing left but a melody and found hope in his born in Delaware. Norman wasn't raised with fame in mind. He was raised in faith, quiet in spirit but loud in purpose. His voice would one day shake stadiums, not to entertain, but to awaken. God's Got a Blessing, Emmanuel, Battlefield. These weren't just songs, they were healing in audio form. For many, those melodies played through nights of heartbreak, hospital stays, empty bank accounts, and unanswered prayers. But something in his voice, that calm strength, always reminded people that God hadn't forgotten them. He didn't sing for applause, he sang because it was his calling. And it was impossible not to feel that when you heard him. As he stepped into leadership, becoming a bishop, his ministry expanded, he mentored, he parted, he healed, not with grand gestures but simple love. One hug, one word, one prayer at a time. So when the day came to say goodbye, it was more than a farewell. It was a spiritual homegoing, a final offering. The funeral was not a performance, it was sacred. A gold-trimmed casket, soft lilies, a room filled not just with gospel legends, but with hearts that had been touched. No spotlight, just reverence. And then something unexpected happened. Midway through the service, the microphone failed. The room fell silent, but not for long. A small voice rose from the front row, a child, singing Emmanuel. No music, no instruments, just raw worship. Within moments, the entire room joined in. It wasn't rehearsed, it wasn't planned, it was divine. That moment, it broke something open, and what poured out was worship so real it felt like heaven leaned in to listen. That people stood, people wept, people worshipped in a way that felt final, yet eternal. Tributes followed, not formal, rehearsed speeches, but real memories. One pastor said, "When I was about to walk away from ministry, he didn't lecture me, he just reminded me who I was." Another shared, "He made you feel seen, not as a project, but as a person." And then came the final moment no one was ready for. A short clip played from Bishop Hutchins' last sermon. And in his steady, calm voice, he said, "Even if I'm not there, my worship will be those words." They landed like thunder. The room trembled. Some cried, some clapped, others simply closed their eyes and let it sink in. He had unknowingly preached his own farewell and left behind a message that would outlive him. One young man, who flew in from another country, quietly approached the casket before the end. He placed a small note inside. It read, "Because of you, I found my voice, and I will use it to bring healing just like you did for me." That is what Bishop Hutchins gave this world. Not just music, not just sermons, but impact. The kind that doesn't fade when a voice goes quiet. They carried him out that day, but his presence never left, because voices like his don't vanish. They echo. And even now, through every whispered prayer, every raised hand in worship, every broken soul that begins to believe again, he still lives. If his music ever brought you peace, if his words ever made you pause and reflect, then share that peace. Speak that truth, live that worship. Bishop Norman Hutchins didn't just pass on, he passed forward, and in that he still sings.